Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a garden, a beautiful, lush garden filled with potential. But what happens when weeds start to grow? Those weeds, my friends, are the necessary thoughts that crowd our minds and choke out the beauty of our true potential. Today, we're going to learn how to tend to that garden, how to pull out those weeds, and how to cultivate a mind that blooms with purpose and power. You see, in this journey of life, we often find ourselves carrying baggage that doesn't belong to us. Thoughts that limit us, fears that cripple us, and doubts that blind us to our true capabilities. But I'm here to tell you, it's time to get rid of those unnecessary thoughts and step into the fullness of who you were created to be. Now you might be wondering, how do I do that? How do I get rid of these thoughts that have been with me for so long? Well, let me tell you, it starts with a decision to take control of your mind, to be the gatekeeper of your... You see, thoughts will come, that's natural. But you have the power to decide which thoughts you'll allow to take root and which ones you'll cast aside. Think about it this way. Your mind is like a theater and your thoughts are the actors on the stage. Some of these actors are trying to put on a tragedy, showing you all the ways you could fail, all the reasons you're not good enough. But you, my friend, you're the director of this show. You have the power to say, cut. That's not the story we're telling here. You have the power to rewrite the script, to cast new actors, to put on a show that inspires and uplifts. And let me tell you, this isn't just about positive thinking. No, it's about intentional thinking. It's about being deliberate with the thoughts you entertain. You see, in this world, we're bombarded with messages telling us who we should be, what we should want, how we should. But I'm here to tell you, you weren't created to fit into someone else's mold. You were created to break the mold. Now, I want you to understand something. Getting rid of unnecessary thoughts isn't a one-time event. It's a process, a journey. It's like working out. You don't go to the gym once and expect to have a six-pack, do you? No. It takes consistent effort day after day. The same is true for your mind. You need to exercise your mental muscles, train your brain to focus on thoughts that serve you, that propel you towards your purpose. Let me share with you a powerful technique. Whenever an unnecessary thought tries to take root in your mind, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. 1, is this thought true? 2, is this thought helpful? 3, is this thought moving me towards my purpose? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then it's time to evict that thought. It has no place in the prime real estate of your mind. Now, some of you might be thinking, but these thoughts have been with me for so long. They feel like a part of me. Let me tell you something, my friends. Just because a thought has been with you for a long time doesn't mean it's true. Just because you've believed something for years doesn't make it a fact. You see, many of us are living with outdated software in our minds. It's time. Imagine you're still using a computer from the 1990s. Sure, it might turn on. It might even get some basic tasks done. But can it handle the demands of today's world? Can it run the latest programs, process information at the speed required in our fast-paced society? Of course not. So why are you running your life on outdated mental software? It's time for an upgrade. This upgrade starts with awareness. You need to become aware of your thoughts. Many of us go through life on autopilot, letting our minds wander wherever they please. But I'm here to tell you, it's time to take the wheel. It's time to become conscious of the thoughts that are driving your life. Here's a practical exercise for you. For the next week, I want you to keep a thought journal. Every time you catch yourself thinking an unnecessary thought, a thought that's not serving you, I want you to write it down. At the end of the week, look back at that journal. You might be surprised at the patterns you see, at the recurring thoughts that have been holding you back. But don't stop there. For each of those thoughts, I want you to write down a replacement thought. A thought that serves you, that aligns with your purpose, that moves you towards your goals. You see, nature abhors a vacuum. If you simply try to get rid of negative thoughts without replacing them with positive ones, those old thoughts will creep back in. So fill your mind with thoughts that empower you, that inspire you, that remind you of your true potential. And let's talk about the power of focus. You see, where focus goes, energy flows. What do you focus on expands. So I ask you, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your problems, or are you focusing on solutions? Are you focusing on what you lack? Or are you focusing on the abundance in your life? Are you focusing on your limitations, or are you focusing on your possibilities? You see, unnecessary thoughts often come from misplaced focus. We focus on things we can't control, on past mistakes, on future uncertainties. But I'm here to tell you, your power lies in the present moment. Your power lies in what you can control right now. And do you know what you can control? Your thoughts, your actions, your attitude. Let me share with you a powerful truth. You are not your thoughts. You are thinking of your thoughts. Your thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky of your mind. Some are dark and stormy, others are light and fluffy. You are the sky, unchanging, ever-present, vast and limitless. The clouds may come and go. So I challenge you today, stop identifying with your thoughts. Stop saying, I am anxious or I am depressed. Instead, say, I'm experiencing anxious thoughts or I'm having depressing thoughts. Do you see the difference? This simple shift in language can have a profound impact on your life. It reminds you that you are not your thoughts, that you have the power to choose which thoughts you entertain. Now let's talk about the concept of mental real estate. Your mind is the most valuable piece of real estate you own. And just like physical real estate, it's all about location, location, location. Would you build a beautiful house in a toxic waste dump? Yes, of course not. So why are you allowing toxic thoughts to reside in the prime real estate of your mind? It's time for some mental decluttering. It's time to evict those tenants that have overstayed their welcome. Those thoughts of self-doubt, of fear, of unworthiness. It's time to serve them an eviction. And in their place, let's move in thoughts of confidence, of courage, of self-worth. But remember, this isn't just about getting rid of negative thoughts. It's about cultivating positive ones. It's about planting seeds of greatness in the fertile soil of your mind. You see, your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you plant today will grow into the reality you experience tomorrow. So I ask you, what kind of seeds are you planting? Are you planting seeds of possibility or seeds of doubt? Are you planting seeds of love or seeds of fear? Are you planting seeds of abundance or seeds of lack? The choice is yours. And make no mistake, it is every day, every moment. You are choosing the thoughts you entertain. So choose wisely. Now some of you might be thinking, but what about when negative thoughts just pop into my head? I can't control that. And you're right, you can't control the initial thought that pops into your head. But you can control how you respond to it. You can control whether you water that thought and let it grow, or whether you uproot it and replace it with something better. Here's a powerful technique I want to share with you. It's called the stop, drop, and roll technique. When an unnecessary thought pops into your head, recognize the thought. Become aware of it. Let go of the thought. Don't engage with it. Don't argue with it. Just let it go. 3, roll into a new empowering thought. Replace the unnecessary thought with one that serves you. This technique takes practice, but with time, it can become second nature. It's like developing a mental immune system, one that quickly identifies and eliminates thoughts that don't serve you. Now let's talk about the power of questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Many of us ask ourselves disempowering questions like, why does this always happen to me? I wonder what's wrong with me. These questions lead to unnecessary thoughts that drain our energy and limit our potential. Instead, start asking yourself empowering questions. Questions like, what can I learn from this situation? How can I use this experience to grow? What's great about this problem? You see, when you ask better questions, you get better answers. And better answers lead to better thoughts, which lead to better actions, which lead. Let me share with you a personal practice that has transformed my life. Every morning before I start my day, I ask myself 3 questions. Yes. 1, what am I grateful for today? 2, what am I excited about today? 3, how can I add value to someone's life today? These questions set the tone for my day. They direct my focus towards gratitude, excitement, and service. And let me tell you, when you start your day with these thoughts, it's hard for unnecessary thoughts to find a foothold. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, but what about when I face real problems? What about when life gets tough? And I hear you. Life isn't always sunshine and roses. We all face challenges. We all face setbacks. But here's the thing. It's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you respond to what happens to you. You see, unnecessary thoughts often come from dwelling on things we can't control. We replay past mistakes in our minds. We worry about future uncertainties. But I'm here to tell you, your power lies in the present moment. Your power lies in your response to the situation at hand. So when life gets tough, when you face challenges, I want you to ask yourself this question. What's the opportunity here? You see, every problem comes bearing its own gift. Every challenge carries within it the seed of an equal or greater. Your job is to find that gift, to plant that seed, to uncover that opportunity. This shift in perspective can transform your life. Instead of seeing problems, you'll start seeing opportunities for growth. Instead of feeling stuck, you'll feel empowered. Instead of being weighed down by unnecessary thoughts, you'll be lifted up by the possibility of what could be. Now, let's talk about the company you keep. And I'm not just talking about the people around you. I'm talking about the company you keep in your own mind. You see, we all have an internal dialogue, a conversation we're constantly having with ourselves. And let me tell you, that conversation shapes your reality. So I ask you, what kind of conversation are you having with yourself? Is it uplifting and encouraging, or is it critical and discouraging? Are you your own biggest cheerleader, or are you your own worst critic? You see, the most important relationship you ever have is the relationship you have with yourself. So make it start talking to yourself the way you would talk to someone you love. Encourage yourself, believe in yourself, be patient with yourself. And when those unnecessary thoughts try to creep in, when that inner critic starts to speak up, I want you to say, thank you for your input, but I'm choosing to believe something different. You see, belief is a choice. And the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world around you shape your reality. So choose beliefs that empower you. Choose beliefs that inspire you. Choose beliefs that align with the person you want to become. Now let's talk about the power of vision. You see, unnecessary thoughts often come from a lack of clarity about where you're going. When you don't have a clear vision for your life, it's easy to get distracted by every thought that comes your way. But when you have a clear vision, when you know where you're going, it becomes much easier to identify and eliminate thoughts that don't align with that vision. So I challenge you today, take some time to clarify your vision. What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? In 10 years? In 20 years? What kind of person do you want to become? Get clear on these questions, and you'll find it much easier to navigate the sea of thoughts in your mind. And here's the thing about vision. It's not just about what you want to achieve. It's about who you want to become. Because at the end of the day, your greatest achievement won't be something you do. It will be someone you become. So focus on becoming the kind of person who can achieve your dreams, and the achievements will naturally follow. Now, I want to address something that many of us struggle with: perfectionism. You see, perfectionism is often the breeding ground for unnecessary thoughts. We get caught up in trying to do everything perfectly, in trying to be perfect, And in the process, we paralyze ourselves with unnecessary thoughts of self-doubt and fear. First, but true. It's an illusion. It's a moving target that you'll never hit. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for excellence. It's about doing your best with what you have where you are. It's about progress, not perfection. Hey, remember, every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner. The path to success is not a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs, of successes and failures. So embrace the journey, embrace the process of growth and learning, and most importantly, be kind to yourself along the way. Now, let's talk about the power of gratitude in eliminating unnecessary thoughts. You see, gratitude and negative thoughts cannot coexist in the same mind at the same time. It's like trying to breathe in and breathe out at the same time. It's simply not possible. So when you find your mind cluttered with unnecessary thoughts, shift your focus to gratitude. Think about all the things you have to be grateful for. Your health, your family, your friends, the roof over your head, the food on your table. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you'll find those unnecessary thoughts start to fade away. And here's the powerful truth. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. It transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings. It shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what's missing to what's present. So I challenge you to make gratitude a daily practice. Every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe it's the smile from a stranger, a delicious meal, or a beautiful sunset. By focusing on gratitude, you're training your mind to look for the good in your life. And what you focus on expands. Now let's talk about the power of purpose in eliminating unnecessary thoughts. You see, many unnecessary thoughts come from a lack of purpose. When we don't know why we're here, when we don't have a sense of meaning in our lives, it's easy to get caught up in trivial concerns and meaningless worries. But when you have a clear sense of purpose, when you know why you're here and what you're meant to do, those unnecessary thoughts lose their power. They fade into the background as you focus on what truly matters. So I ask you, what's your purpose? What were you put on this earth to do? What unique gifts and talents do you have to offer the world? These are big questions, I know. But wrestling with them, seeking answers to them, that's what gives life meaning. That's what helps you rise above the noise of unnecessary thoughts and focus on what truly matters. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are not a cosmic coincidence. You are here on purpose, for a purpose, and that purpose is not just about you. It's about the impact you can have on the world around you. It's about the lives you can touch, the difference you can make. So when unnecessary thoughts try to creep in, when you find yourself getting caught up in trivial concerns, remind yourself of your purpose. Ask yourself, is this thought serving my purpose? Is it moving me towards my goals? Is it helping me make the impact I want to make? If the answer is no, then it's time to let that thought go. Now let's talk about the power of action in eliminating unnecessary thoughts. You see, many times unnecessary thoughts come from inaction. When we're not taking action towards our goals, when we're not moving forward, our minds tend to fill that void with worry, doubt, and fear. But when you're taking consistent action towards your goals, when you're making progress, even if it's small progress, those unnecessary thoughts start to fade away. They're replaced by thoughts of possibility, of achievement. So I challenge you today to take action. Start small if you need to, but start. Take that first step towards your dreams, towards the life you want to create. Because here's the truth. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And then, once you start moving, you find it's much easier to keep going. Remember, motion creates emotion. When you take action, you create momentum. And momentum is a powerful force. It can carry you through obstacles, over hurdles, and toward your goals. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait until you feel ready. Because the secret is, action often comes before motivation, not the other way around. Think about it like this. Have you ever not felt like exercising, but forced yourself to do it anyway, and then halfway through your workout, you suddenly felt energized and motivated. That's the power of action. It can shift your state, change your mood, and transform your mindset. So what's that one thing you've been putting off? What's that goal you've been dreaming about but haven't taken action on? I want you to identify it right now. And then I want you to commit to taking one small action towards it. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Maybe it's making that phone call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's writing the first paragraph of that book you've always wanted to write. Maybe it's going for a 10-minute walk if you've been wanting to get in shape. Whatever it is, do it today. Because here's the thing, small actions consistently taken lead to big results. Now, I want to talk about the power of your environment in shaping your thoughts. You see, your environment has a profound impact on your mindset. The people you surround yourself with, the books you read, the content you consume. All of these things shape your thoughts and by extension your life. So I ask you, what kind of environment are you creating for yourself? Are you surrounding yourself with positive, uplifting influences? Or are you allowing negative influences to creep in? Are you feeding your mind with information that inspires and empowers you? Are you consuming content that breeds fear and negativity? You see, your mind is like a garden, and just like a garden, it will grow whatever you plant in it. But here's the thing, weeds don't need any help to grow. They'll grow on their own. It's the flowers, the fruits, the valuable plants. Those are the ones that need nurturing. So be intentional about what you're planting in the garden of your mind. Be selective about the influences you allow into your life. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who challenge you to grow, who inspire you to become the best version of yourself. And when it comes to the content you consume, choose wisely. Read books that expand your mind and challenge your thinking. Listen to podcasts that inspire you and teach you new things. Watch videos that motivate you and push you towards your goals. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. What you feed your mind is what your mind will produce. So feed it well. Feed it with thoughts of possibility, of growth, of success. Because the thoughts you consistently entertain will eventually become your reality. Now let's talk about the power of mindfulness in eliminating unnecessary thoughts. You see, many of us go through life on autopilot, letting our minds wander wherever they please. And often, they wander into territories of worry, fear, and unnecessary thoughts. At mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, can be a powerful tool in combating these unnecessary thoughts. When you're fully present, when you're focused on the here and now, there's no room for unnecessary thoughts about the past or worries about the future. So I challenge you to practice mindfulness. Start small. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Maybe it's paying full attention to the taste and texture of your food as you eat. Maybe it's really listening without distraction when someone is speaking to you. These small moments of mindfulness can have a profound impact on your thought patterns. They can help you become more aware of your thoughts, more in control of your mind. And when you're in control of your mind, you're in control of your life. Now, I want to address something that many of us struggle with. The fear of failure. You see, the fear of failure is often at the root of many unnecessary thoughts. We worry about what might go wrong, about what people might think if we fail, about whether we're good enough to succeed. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed their way to success. The difference is they didn't let those failures define them. They didn't let the fear of failure stop them from trying. So I challenge you to reframe your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as something to be avoided at all costs, see it as a necessary part of the journey. See it as feedback, as a learning opportunity, as a stepping stone on the path to success. Remember, the only true failure is the failure to try. Everything else is just learning. So don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Don't let it fill your mind with unnecessary thoughts of what might go wrong. Instead, focus on what might go right. Focus on the possibility of success. And here's a powerful truth. The success is not about never failing. It's about never giving up. It's about getting back up every time you fall. It's about learning from your mistakes and using those lessons to propel you forward. So embrace failure as a teacher. Welcome it as a sign that you're pushing yourself, that you're growing, that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, because it's outside of your comfort zone that real growth happens. Now, let's talk about the power of forgiveness in eliminating unnecessary thoughts. You see, many unnecessary thoughts come from holding on to grudges, from carrying the weight of past hurts and resentment. But forgiveness of others, and forgiveness of yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you have to let that person back into your life. It simply means that you're choosing to let go of the negative emotions associated with that event. You're choosing to free yourself from the prison of resentment and bitterness. And here's the thing, it's not something you do for the other person. It's something you do for yourself. Because when you hold on to anger and resentment, the person you're really hurting is yourself. You're allowing that person or that event to continue to have power over you, to continue to occupy space in your mind. So I challenge you to practice forgiveness. Start with small things. Maybe it's forgiving someone who cut you off in traffic. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for a small mistake. As you practice forgiveness in these small ways, you'll find it becomes easier to forgive in bigger ways. And remember, forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a process. You might need to forgive the same thing multiple times before it truly leaves your mind. But each time you choose forgiveness, you're creating more space in your mind for positive impact. Now, let's talk about the power of self-talk and eliminating unnecessary thoughts. You see, we all have an inner voice, a running commentary in our heads. And for many of us, that inner voice can be incredibly critical. It can be the source of many unnecessary thoughts, constantly telling us we're not good enough, smart enough, or worth it. But here's the thing. You have the power to change the voice you listen to in your own head. So I challenge you to become aware of your self-talk. Pay attention to the way you speak to yourself. Is it kind and encouraging? Or is it harsh and critical? And if you find that your self-talk is negative, make a conscious effort to change it. Start speaking to yourself the way you would speak to a dear friend. Be kind to yourself. Encourage yourself. Remember, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. So make it a good one. Fill your mind with thoughts of possibility, of growth, of self-love. Because when you change the way you talk to yourself, you change the way you see yourself. And when you change the way you see yourself, you change your world. In conclusion, getting rid of unnecessary thoughts is not about achieving a state of perfect mental calm. It's about developing the tools and mindset to navigate the natural ebbs and flows of our thoughts. It's about learning to focus on what truly matters, on what moves us towards our goals and aligns with our values. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. You have the power to choose which thoughts you entertain, which ones you let go, and which ones you act upon. This power, this ability to direct your mind is one of the greatest gifts you possess. Yet use it wisely. So I challenge you today, take control of your mind. Be intentional about the thoughts you entertain. Focus on what truly matters. Practice gratitude. Take action towards your goals. Surround yourself with positive influences. Okay, be mindful. Embrace failure as a teacher. Practice forgiveness. And above all, because when you master your mind, when you learn to direct your thoughts, you unlock your true potential. You open yourself up to a world of possibility. You become the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. So go forth with courage and determination. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and personal growth. And remember, every day is a new opportunity to create the life you want, one thought at a time. The time is now. Your future is waiting. Go and make it extraordinary.